Hello, hello. So today we are doing a double splatter screen wreath. One side is Christmas and the other side is fall. So this is a splatter screen double with the blocks from Dollar Tree, and you easily hang it with because this is in here with just twine, you still have the space that's in your handle to hang it on a door like I showed in my photos. And this is how easy. So one side again is your fall, you take out the flowers, you flip it around, and this side is Christmas. So let's get started on what you need to make this project. Okay, so for this project you're going to need a box of the tower game blocks from Dollar Tree. You're going to need, I don't know if regular duct tape is going to work. This is the Gorilla. It's a little expensive, but it is really, really sticky, and you're not going to have any problems when we put our blocks together, and you'll see what I mean soon. You can try it with regular duct tape. Maybe you have another idea, but this was the best thing that I used, and none of them came off because you'll see what I'm doing soon. You're going to need an embellishment, so I figured I would use this one with our buffalo print. And for our fall print, I thought I would use the little signs that come with it, and I can add a little flower or something because I wanted to do the fall kind of simple. You're going to need some Velcro because when we use our two splatter screens to make our wreaths, you of course want one side to be kind of flat, so that even if we had this on here, this will be able to stay and be flat on our door. But if we have something sticking out, then it's going to stick out. So that's why I'm suggesting the Velcro, because we're going to do a little swag here with Velcro, so we can take our flowers off, have it flat, flip it over, and then do your other side, so whether it's Christmas or fall or whatever. So you need two splatter screens. And I know some people are having trouble finding these because everybody's making the pumpkins out of them, but they do have them with the little cap, and you can have the cap where you can just remove it and you can get another utensil and use the handle from it, and then you can hot glue it, or you can maybe use some wire and you can wire it to here so that you have a handle. So that's another suggestion that you might want to do, and just use the lid splatter screen instead. You're going to need, now of course I used a piece on this for something else, but you're only going to use half, and we're going to put this inside once we have our frame made. And this is so our flowers are not so deep, because you are going to need a variety of Christmas flowers, and you're going to need a variety of, I have a lot of fall flowers, okay? And then of course, if I wanted to, I could add a little Velcro on the back of him because he is flat, and I can add some Velcro and I can put him with my sign. So if I wanted to change things off every year, I can just take the stick off and I can just add this, and you guys will see as I'm working what we're exactly doing to keep everything on there. I have some twine because I wanted to use the tan twine at the very base here, as you saw when I introduced this. So we had the twine going up on both of these just to cover the black. Again, you don't have to do it that way. You most certainly can take flowers or even a stem flower and you can cover that up, but you want to make sure this opening is here so that you can hang it to the door. And you are going to need your fabric. So this one here I got at Hobby Lobby, and this one here I got at Joann Fabric. They were both very comparable in price. I only got a half a yard of each. I believe Joann was like $2.98 with tax, and this one was like $2.75 with tax. And we had more than enough to do what we needed to do, plus a little extra. You're going to need some scissors. I like these scissors from Dollar Tree. They are kitchen shears, but they do cut this flannel fabric really, really good. A tape measure, because when we measure out our blocks to make our circle, you want to at least be able to lay it out and know how many you need. Otherwise, I can count the blocks for you. And of course, you're going to need a glue gun and glue items. So let's get started on the first part, which is going to be cutting our fabric to fit our splatter screen. Okay, so for this part where you are tracing this screen, I just want to show you how easy it is to do this. So a lot of times I'm not good at drawing a circle, but I just want to show you, I went over maybe just a quarter because I just wanted it to be able to wrap around the lip of this, okay? So you can see the lip right here. So So you want to make sure that you're going from the outside in, and it's just going to cover the lip. So you're not going to have anything on this back side. Again, it's entirely up to you what you want to do. So when you lay it down, the easiest way to do this is take your marker, and if it's a Sharpie marker, it has this little lip right here. And if you hold it down and you press, you can guide this circle. See how my hand is going? I don't know if you can see that. See how the circle, I don't even have to work at holding it. So you just press down, and that is going to make you easily be able to trace this where you don't feel like the circle is not going to be right, okay? So you're just really holding it against it, and then you just go all the way around, and you're going to have what I have here being a little bit over. So I'll show you, I'll hold it up, and you're going to do that on both of them. So I have this one done. Now it just depends on where you get your fabric from. So this side, of course, on one of them is going to be white, but it's going to be on the inside, and the other one has a double face. This one came from Joann Fabrics, and the orange one came from Hobby Lobby. So here it is on this side. So if you want me to do it on this side, I'll show you real quick, because this is a white. It might give you a better idea. So you lay your screen down, you give yourself about 1/4 all the way around, because that's all you really need to wrap this. And you're just going to take some hot glue, and you're just going to overlap this. I'll do that next, but once we cut this out. But I just wanted to show you, because a lot of people are like, well, I can't draw a circle, I can't do freehand. So I just wanted to show you that if you hold it down, open your marker, and again, if it's a Sharpie, it has the lip on it. So if you just hold it and lean it against, just go slight, that's all you have to do to make this circle. And you don't even have to worry whether it's right or not, because it's just taking form. So does that make sense? I hope it does. So see, you don't have to do anything. Just lean it against the rim of this, and the rim is got the lip right here. So that's all you have to do to make this circle. Then of course, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the circle out. So you're going to come around, and I bought a 1/2 yard, so it was like $2.50. It was on sale, and both of those places have a 40% coupon if they're not already on sale. So a 1/2 on the red, I believe, was like $2.98, and then the other one was like $2.76, because I figured I could do something. I could make pumpkins or something with it. And then we're just cutting this out on our circle, and then we're going to hot glue this on. So as always, I'm going to stop the video, cut my other one out, and then I'll show you how we're going to glue this on. And these scissors are from Dollar Tree as well. They're actually kitchen shears, but they cut fabric pretty well. Some of you might have one of those circle cutters if you're good with your hand. I don't know if I would trust myself to not cut it wrong, because you kind of want to make sure that you do cut this circle so that it doesn't look like it's wrong when you glue it on. Okay? I just thought this would be really fun to have a reversible wreath that you can hang on the door, and you don't even have to do anything, because all you have to do is, even if you twine on here, or if you don't, you have this little hole right here, and you can just hang it on your door. So it'll be easy. Okay, so we have our circle cut out. Okay, so our circle's completely cut out. I'm going to cut the other one, but I just want to show you all, when we lay this down and we start to glue it around, that's all you need, is enough for it to cover the sides. Okay? So that's really what you want to do. You just want to make sure you have enough. You might want to go a little bit over, because now that I cut this, maybe you should do a little bit more. Let's see. I really just wanted it to cover this half, and I have enough, but for some of you it might be too tight. So maybe go maybe a 1/2 inch over, because you want to make sure that you cover this completely. So even though I might leave mine because I don't sell them or anything like that, you know, you're just trying to get it so that it covers the side, because you're not going to see it when you're looking at it from the front. You're not going to see it you're not going to see it at all. You just want to cover up that lip. It doesn't really even have to go over it. You're just covering this part here so that when you're looking at it from the side, you're not going to see it. So it's just really, again, it just depends on you if you want a little bit more. So again, when you hold your marker down and you want it to be a little bit wider, just go a little bit longer here when you lean it inward. And that's going to give you a bigger circle, okay? So I just want to show you. If you hold your hand here, see how my hand is? And then if you go down, that's going to give you about a 1/2 inch. And then that will give you more than enough material to go around. I'm going to stick with what I have, but I just wanted to tell you all, if you want to change it, you can do it that way. So I'm going to cut my other one out, and then we're going to glue that, and then we're going to get on to our blocks. So I'll be right back. So I just wanted to share, I have one completed, and when I was cutting the fabric, I showed you all to only go about 1/4 over, and it came out to be kind of perfect. And the reason why is because this is like a flannel material, so it's a little forgiving, and you can pull on it to do the trim on here. So I just wanted to show you, and I also wrapped my handles. So all I did was put some hot glue here, and I twined all the way up, and I added a little bit more hot glue about right here, you know, like halfway point, and a little bit higher, just so that when you start to wrap here, it doesn't keep sliding down on you. And then of course I just twined it all the way up. I didn't use any hot glue from here to here. When I got to the top here, I used a little bit more hot glue just so that it's sealed perfectly, and then you can still put your finger in there enough to be able to get it on a hook to hang on the door. So even if you wanted to do something really cute like this, and you can also make like a swag here, but we're going to use our deer that I have, and we're also going to put a welcome on here on the bottom, and I'm going to put a couple berries there, and then like I said, I'll probably swag some of these the way I am going to do with the fall one. But I just wanted to show really fast what you're going to do when you wrap this around. So I have this part done already, okay, and I just want you to see, if you have too much material, then it might be a little bit harder for you to get it to be even, I guess I should say, because you don't want, no matter which direction you want this to be in. So this is another thing you want to check. Do you want your little blocks to be going slanted, or do you want them straight? So when you lay it down, that's another thing that you have to consider, okay? So what I'm saying is that your lines might be not line up correctly if you have too much material. So I'm just going to show you real quick, and I'm doing it in sections. I'm not doing it where you put too much hot glue, because hot glue dries rather quickly and you don't have a lot of time to work. And here's another tip, because I posted something, and I don't know if a lot of you know Deb from Deb Wreaths and Things. I will post her link below. She does a lot of really cute craft ideas as well. Some people live in really hot states, so if you have a door that faces the sun, your glue might start to melt. So what you might want to do is use like a hot Gorilla Glue. I believe they have glue sticks, which might be a little bit heavier than a regular glue stick, and you want to make sure you use hot glue rather than say a medium or a low temp. And you'll see what I mean if you ever go to a craft store. They have different temperatures of hot glue. So that was a tip she gave me, and I never thought of it because we don't get extremely hot weather here in Chicago. We get a little bit, but it's nothing compared to what some of you have. So as you can see, I'm pulling on it, and it's so forgiving that it wraps right over your edge. So I just wanted to show you all that so that you knew, if you did it the way I did it, you know, in the previous video, to show you how to cut your circle. 1/4 over is more than enough. This is probably more like 3/16 now that I'm looking at it, but because you can pull on it is what makes it nice to be able to wrap. So it was actually, in my opinion, a perfect measurement on this. So let's just finish this up, and we're going to get to our blocks. Okay. So we have it pretty much done, and you might have to, depending on if you have it here or not. Mine seems to be okay. On the other one I did cut it. You're just going to cut a little notch here and here to kind of tuck it under or cut it off, but that's entirely up to you. You might want to leave it because your flowers and everything is going to block from even seeing it. So it doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. You know, because I do notice people will comment, well, why didn't you do it this way? Well, because I didn't think to do it that way. And if you want to do it that way, that's the way I think you should do it. So I just wanted to share how easy this was. And you can also, if you can only find the screens, this would be really cute just to do a wreath itself. Put some swag on here, add your center thing. Like this deer, you could probably find, I had him, so I don't really know where to tell you to find him, but you might be able to find one at like a Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and you can do it this way. I know that Dollar Tree is now coming out with more things, so you could just do a single-sided. I just thought it was fun to be able to change the flowers out and make it like a little wreath display with flowers. And you can do these for every season. So if you wanted to do, you know, one for, put some pretty sunflowers on it and do it for spring, or because these screens seem to be going quickly. So for some reason, if you can't get it now, maybe it'll die down a little bit and you'll be able to do it in the spring. And then you can do the same concept. Okay, so we have two of our screens together, and now we are going to start working on our blocks. So it would be like this. One side this way, one side this way. One side this way, one side this way. Okay, so let's work on our blocks. Okay, so for our blocks, this is what is going to give us, we're going to put this down. And again, I keep talking about this lip. So when you lay this down, you want to make sure that your lip is upward so that this fits in here. Okay, so I just want to show you this real quick. Okay, so we have it down, and we need our other screen. So this is going to fit right on top of it. And when you hold it up sideways, you're going to have this nice wood finish. So one thing I just noticed is this block here has words on it. So you want to make sure that when you tape these down that you have a solid side. So I'm just going to flip that up and I'm going to take it over. So what I did was I measured how much I wanted an opening. So I went with 20, because when you do 20, this gives you enough opening. So you got to make sure it's really stuck down, because this tape, the Gorilla Tape, is really good, but if you don't have it really stuck down, and it's not going to matter once it's on here, because once it's on here and it's glued down, it's not even going to matter, because they can't come out anyway, because it's in between the lip. Okay, so I wanted an opening about that big, so that's where I came up with. So it's 20 inches. And then, of course, we're going to cut these two pieces of tape off once we have this all glued down. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your blocks. Okay, so here's some blocks that I have. And this is all I did. Really, really simple, really, really fast. What I did was I took my tape measure. Here is 1920. And I just started laying them down all the way. Okay, so you keep going, all the way down. And then once you get to 20, you just take your tape. Now, because this is very heavy duty tape and it just fits the width, I didn't think I needed that much. So I'm just using this as an example. I'm just going to take a small piece. So what I did was I did 10 inches on the tape. I ripped it in half, and then I just overlapped them. So just give yourself a little bit extra on the tape. Maybe do 12 and 12 so that you can overlap it and stick it. And then I just took a ruler, and I made sure they were nice and straight, and I went straight down like this. And some of you might say, well, why can't you glue these together? Because you need it to conform to our shape of our circle. So that's why this works perfect, because it bends perfect with our circle. So let me show you one more time with that. So we're going to lay this down. Okay, because I know some of you are going to be like, well, why can't we just do it this way? Because I always get those questions. And I always say, you know, this is how my mind works. You can always change anything you want to change. Okay, so here we go. We have this down, and I just want to show you. See how it bends really, really nicely. It gives a nice finished look. Okay, and there you have it. So it bends nicely. And the only reason I'm waiting on this piece of tape is because, of course, I don't want them to all fall apart. But there's more than enough, and it looks really, really nice on the sides. And it will look nice for fall, and it will look nice for Christmas. So, again, you could do one side Halloween, so get some really funky blue or black and really deck it out, and then do the reverse side and do fall. So there's a couple options that you can do, and then you can take, Dollar Tree has those roses with the eyeballs and things like that, so you can add those. And of course you just tuck your flowers in here. This part is going to go in here, and it's going to get glued. And the reason for this piece is, without this, the flowers fall down too far. So if you have this piece of foam in here, it's going to catch, and it's going to be able to, you're going to be able to push your flowers into the styrofoam, so you won't have to go as far. Okay, if that makes sense. And then once that's glued to this, you're not going to have to worry about your sides going in either. So that styrofoam is going to help all of this stay in place. So in our previous video, we laid out our blocks and we put our tape on. And as you can see, mine is really good here. And again, we are going to use the lip here to glue this down. So you want to make sure that it's centered where you want it to be. And for some of you that are curious, like I measured it out to 20, there are 33 blocks here. So 33 around is what's going to give you exactly what I have here. And when you lay it down, you want to make sure that it is center to your hanging handle so that it's not off center. So when you look at it from the side, they look about even. Okay, mine's slipping down because it's not glued down yet. Okay, so you just want to make sure that it looks kind of level to your center handle. Okay. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to just push this up a little bit like this, and I'm going to start to glue this. So I have it where I want it to be, and I'm going to start there, and I think you just kind of want to eyeball things, okay? So I'm going to start here, and the reason that I'm not gluing these directly is because I don't want it to go through my fabric. So sometimes people will say, why didn't you just glue it down? And that's because I don't want it to get through my fabric side. Okay, so we're going to do this on the top, and we're going to do this on the bottom. Okay, so we could pull this out a little bit. And you don't have to, if you don't want, I wouldn't think that it would matter. You don't have to do it all the way. You know, just hit some spots. Okay, so we have the next one. And we're just going around the lip. So you can see I'm just doing the lip here. And that's going to glue our blocks to this. If you get any hot glue, try to wipe it off before it dries, because you don't want it to be able to show. Not that it really matters on the side so much, because you're really not going to see it, but you do want a nice clean finish. Okay. Alright. And we're just finishing this off. So I want to see where my stop point is. And again, I am going to take off this top portion of this tape once I have it completely glued down. Okay, so let's turn this way so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay, so there we have it. So you can see it's on here, it's nice and steady, it's got a nice side. So when you're looking at from the side view, if it's on your door, you're going to see this. I mean, you're going to see this slight thing on your door, but you're really not going to pay attention because you have this nice finish here. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. And I didn't go all the way around. Maybe I'm thinking that we should, only just so that it's in place and that the top one, the next one we put on, is good too. So I decided to add hot glue all the way. Okay, so we went all the way around with that one. You want to wait for your hot glue to be completely dry. So there you have your sides. All right, and now we're going to do the other one. So this one's going to be a little bit more difficult, of course, because you want to make sure your handles are lined up because you want them to be even. And it's going to be a little more difficult, so we're going to have to try to glue this rather quickly and put it down, because before we were able to move stuff as we went. Had a piece pop up here. So we're going to have to see how we can do this quickly and get it in place to where we need it. Oh, I just thought of something. Before we do this part and glue this top down, I want to put in our foam piece. I want to get this in here. Okay, so we're going to cut this down a little bit since we have this there. I want this to be, let's see here. So it's about half. So you're going to take about a half a wreath. And again, the reason that we're doing this is so we have something to stick. And don't worry about this, because once we start to glue this in the trim of the other one, it's going to all come together once it's in the frame. Okay, so look, when we put this on here, it kind of pops on like a lid. And the reason we're putting that in there is so that when we start to stick our flowers in there, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom here. It will go through our styrofoam instead. So that was the reason that I decided to do that. Okay, so I even want to decide if maybe I want to come up just a little higher. I think I do. And again, this is entirely up to you. The only reason that I'm suggesting doing this is because I tried to put the flowers in there and they were really coming down far here. So I decided that if I put this in here and I just glue it to the two sides, my flowers are only going to go as deep as here instead of all the way. Because our stems, if you look, if you're up here, I just want you to see, if you're up here, you know, and your flowers are here, they're going to stick out more. If they're all the way down, sure, you can you're going to use a lot of flowers that way. So again, you don't have to do it this way. I'm just doing it for myself this way because I don't want any issues with my flowers being too deep. So I'm just going to hot glue this in here on both sides. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. This is just a suggestion. And I realize that I'm going over the tape, but that's almost a good thing for the tape to hold our little blocks in place so it won't come apart. And when you're pushing in your flower stems, you're going to hear it crunching into this so that you know that you're deep enough too. Okay, because you really don't want to waste that much stem space if you don't have to. And then all we have to do is take a little blade and we can cut these off. If I even have a little blade here, we'll find one. Okay, so we have that done. So this is in place. And now we can pop on our top screen. So you notice that when you go to put your top screen on, it's going to pop right into place like it fits, like it's supposed to be there. So what it does is it kind of brings everything together nice and snug. Okay, so it's nice and snug all the way around. And I just wanted to show you that. I have a few spots that I need to re-glue. So you'll notice as you're working on this, you know, what needs to be re-glued, if you need to pull your fabric a little more. So you'll figure this out as you're going. I normally don't like to do an extremely long video because I don't want everybody to get bored. I like to get to the basics and show everybody how to do it. And then, but for this one, because it's a little bit more intense and how this is going to go together in more parts, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood what I was doing. Okay? Alright, so here, again, you got to make sure all your fabric is glued down right and turned over so that it doesn't pop up on you when you're going to put this over your blocks. So just come around and make sure that you got everything in there and it glued down. Because if you're not pressing on it or pulling on it as you're going, then of course, you know, when you're finished, you're going to notice the edges that you didn't get. All right? So let's just pull that over. So that we're nice and secure here. Okay. So this project does take a few hours to make. You can clearly see that. All right, so when we pop this on the ledge, you want to go around and you want to feel it and make sure that you're getting it on here. All right, so again, you're going to have to kind of work quickly on this because we're going to have to hot glue this into place. Okay, so here's where our flowers are going to go, inside here. All right, so this is not that easy to do, but you're going to have to work fast. Now, here's the thing too, is my hot glue gun is really hot, like really super hot. So I kind of have enough time to get this around. And I think for this particular part, I'm not going to go all the way like I did on the base. So if you want to go all the way around on this base, you can. But when you're popping this one on, this is kind of just snugging everything together. So you might not have to go all the way. Where you want it to be snug is where you hear it pop. So we want to make sure that these two sides and the bottom here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add glue to the bottom portion of this and the sides of this, and I'm going to pop it up and I'm going to hit it down so that I don't have to worry about my glue drying. So we're going to work really, really fast right now. Okay. Okay. So I got my hot glue on everywhere, and we are just going to quickly line this up. Line it up, line it up, line it up. We got it lined up. Perfect where it's on there. We're making sure that we got all our blocks in here. Okay. And then we're pressing down. We're making sure that we got all the blocks, that our handles are lined up so that when we hang this, and I didn't add enough hot glue here. So you can like lift up on it a little bit like I'm doing right here and add your glue to your blocks. And don't get frustrated. That's why I like to show everybody what I'm doing, because see how it's in there? And you're going to have these spaces between your blocks. So it's just the way it is. So your first set of blocks is what's going to be important that you get on here right, because that's going to determine, you know, how this looks here, okay? So glue this whole side down to one, and then when you get to this side, you don't have to do that like, you know, the other one. All right, so this project is a little bit more intense because there's a lot of parts to it. But I would think at the craft shows this fall, because it's unique and different, you might do really, really well. So here I did put my blocks in, but they're kind of popping up. So again, I'm going to just go with what I have. I'm going to lift it up where it's separating here, and I'm going to put my hot glue there because I'm not going to let anything intimidate me and think that I goofed it up, okay? So we kind of got to work through whatever's not working. So just work with me here, all right? So it was popping up. And we're just making sure that everything is in here secure so that it doesn't come apart on us. Okay, so now we got it. And of course the bottom portion of it is not as important either because you're not really going to see the bottom. Okay, so you kind of got to hold things as you do it as well so that the glue has a chance to dry. Because if you pick up your hands before that glue is dry, it's going to pop and you're just going to have to keep doing it. Okay, so we went around and we re-glued. So remember, your blocks are going to get glued all the way around your first half. And if you can get away with it, then this part you only need to do like a section. But you might have to go around it, you know, look around and see, do I need more in here somewhere? more hot glue. And remember, we got our little styrofoam in here, so we don't have a lot of room to play with stuff. Okay? So here we are. We are all done with that. And I'm going to cut these little pieces off, these little pieces of tape, because I don't want to forget that they're on there, and I don't want them on there. So, okay, so you took it off so that we have a nice clean finish now. So whenever our flowers go in here, you're just going to see the wood blocks. Okay, it's kind of hard to see with my camera being on a tilt here. Okay. So you see how good our blocks look all the way around? And that's the bottom. So, you know what I mean? All we're really doing is to make sure that we have room when we start to put our flowers in here. That's what this is for. And when you put your flowers in here, you can hold it. And like I said, you're going to hear, listen, hear it going into the styrofoam? So the same thing, when you push down, you're going to hear it going into your styrofoam. And what you might want to do is get like a shish kebab stick and poke some holes into your styrofoam so that they easily just fit in there. That's entirely up to you though. And you don't even have to add that. Like I said, you don't have to put that in there if you don't want to do that. Okay, so we pretty much got that part all done. And now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this side first. And I'm going to add our little signs and get started on our flowers. So we will be right back in 1 second. Okay, so for our flowers, I don't have any swag, any like Christmas poinsettias or anything like that. So what I did was I cut 2 pieces off of our red poinsettia, and I'm going to take some of our Velcro hook, and these fortunately have adhesive on them. Now some of you may not have that, so you're going to have to hot glue. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to be able to remove this. So we want to put this on here where, I'll show you in 1 second. Let me just show you what I'm doing. Okay. So the reason that we're doing it this way is because I'm going to put a little piece of Velcro right here, so that when I want to hang this one up, all I have to do is Velcro it here. The same thing with this side, because you need a flat surface to put it against the door. You don't want to flatten your flowers when you're hanging it against the door for each season. So you figure you can just put everything in a bag, or put the flowers in here and wrap it for the spring and summer, but then you just want to Velcro it back on. So because this is male, okay, this is the male side, and what's nice about these is they are flexible. So when I go to put Velcro this on here, I'm actually going to take and I'm going to hot glue a few more pieces on here to cover this up, okay? So we're going to take our female, and again, this has adhesive on it, so I don't have to worry. Might add a little bit of hot glue just to make sure that it's really on there. Okay, it's pretty sticky, but I just want to make sure that as I'm putting it on or taking it off that it doesn't come off on me. Okay, so we're just putting a little bit, and we're going to add it right there. Okay, so here's my plan. So when you go to change it out for the seasons, there you go. And then you would just take your wire and you can fix it any way you want it. Okay, so that's why I did it that way, where we can remove this. Okay, so make sure that your glue is pretty dry here before you do that. So what I decided I was going to do is I am going to take my deer and I'm going to glue this onto here, and I'm going to put welcome down here. Now these signs again came in a 3-pack from Dollar Tree like this, and these are the signs that I'm going to use on mine. So I want to make sure again, before I glue this down, I want to put my welcome here, and I want to make sure everything is level so that when I flip it over and I have my fall, you don't see anything hanging over on this side. So I need to kind of look at it to make sure I'm right where I want to be before I glue it down. because I know some people really want, and I realize my camera setup is not the best. I unfortunately don't have much money to do anything because of my cancer battle, so I'm sorry to those that want to say your lighting's bad, I can't see, I can't hear. I'm doing the best I can. I promise you, I'm doing the best I can. Okay? So, and you want to glue this in a few spots. Again, you don't want it coming off. You might want to use an E6000 or something. And for this, you want to get your placement right because you don't want to move it because now you're working on your fabric. So you want to make sure it's nice where you want it. Put it down. And there's our welcome. Okay? So now I'm going to take my deer and I'm going to glue him on. And again, I'm going to make sure I have him placed right where I want him. And for him, I want to make sure that his feet are kind of like maybe more, let's see here. Like that. There we go. Because his feet are like in between the welcome. So you still have the W and you still have the L. And we're back far enough so we have our deer on there. And because it's Christmas, I want to take and I want to add, I'm thinking like a few berries around his neck. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. Okay, so, you know, and I always like to emphasize to some of you because I know that it can get frustrating and things don't turn out the way we want. And, you know, you just got to keep working with it and figure it out. It will work out one way or another, okay? So we have our little berries on here. And these, they're so cheap that we can easily replace them. You know what I mean? Like we can take them off at each season and then just put new berries on. So that's not a huge deal. If we got to take our berries off to put it on the door for the previous season. Okay? So you know what I mean. Like because we need a flat surface, I'm just doing this for the sake of the video. We could take these off and we can re-glue them when we have our fall sign up. Then we can switch it over and we can glue our berries on there. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we are going to take our little swag. And again, like I said, you can bend these. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add a few little pieces, something a little lighter weight from our, just to kind of fill this in a little bit. And this is going to be glued to this, okay? So you can even glue it like in between, like I have it here, just so that let me see, I think I want to cut these a little bit because that's too much of a bump there. We're going to glue this on here. And again, you can do whatever you want. It might be easier for some of you to go and buy a swag, and that's great. I just didn't have any, and I wanted to get this video done, so I thought, well, I'll just make what I need. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to glue these leaves so they're open. And we're going to glue it to this one so that it kind of covers everything up. And then where's our other one? Here's our other one. So this is what I mean. See, this thing is too long. So we're cutting that off. And then we'll do the flip side, and then we'll add our flowers, and we will be all done. Okay, so let's put this here. And remember, there's our Velcro. So here's our front side. And we can change things out and move it around because we have our Velcro here. And these are bendable. So we can bend it up, get it out of the deer's way, and we have some flexibility. So, see what I mean? So there's our deer, and this is removable. So how easy is that? So really, all we have left to do right now is start adding. Now I don't have all the right flowers that I want for right now because, again, these were from last year. Oops, I still got tags on them, you can see. Take your tags off. So again, I think my idea of poking a hole in here would be great because this way you have, let's see here, these really need to be down further. Okay, so we have our thing there. And you kind of got to feel your way for the styrofoam. Let's see, do I have one more? Well, you get the gist of it, okay, because I don't have the right flowers. Okay, so that's one side. And now we're going to work on the reverse side. So this is our Christmas side, all right? And we can pull the flowers out. We hang it by our little hook here because even though we got this covered, you can still put your finger in here in between to get it on the hook. So here's the back side of it. Here is the front side of it, okay? So that is our wreath for this side. And again, if we want to take it off, all we have to do is take our Velcro off, pull our flowers out, flip it around, and now we're going to do the reverse side. Okay, so for this side, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to take my little female Velcro, and I'm going to add it to the top here. Again, adding a little bit of hot glue so that it doesn't come off on me when I go to pull it off for one season to the next. Okay, so make sure you got enough up there, and we're putting it at the top here. It's not going to be seen because our flowers are going to hide it. And for this one, I showed you all that I had these little scarecrows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the little scarecrow. Let's see. Oh, they're the same. They have the little leaf on the top here. But what I'm going to do is, little hat is coming up here. So some of the things that you buy from Dollar Tree, you kind of got to fix them sometimes to make it. So I just flattened his hat right here. And I'm going to add a few more flowers to the back side here. And then I'm going to add another piece of Velcro and another piece of the female here so that I can take off my little scarecrow so that it's flat again when I go to put it on the door for Christmas. Okay, so I'm going to take and I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. And I'm adding just a few more leaves just to kind of spruce it up on the back side here. And again, you can do whatever you want. I'm just offering suggestions on this. Okay. Ow. Again, watch your fingers, watch your fingers, watch your fingers. Okay, so we got that. And we need a piece of our male Velcro. I don't know if this is one whole piece. I thought they were little pieces, but maybe not. Okay, so we're going to put this on the back side. Okay, so we have the Velcro there. And we're just going to add another piece of Velcro, but what we're going to do is we're going to... Where's our little circles at? We have one circle left. These are nice. I think I got these at like a craft store rather than... you might be able to find these at Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. They come with little squares and little circles, so it's nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the female part and I'm going to put it on here so that I can kind of guesstimate where I want it on here so that it sticks. My bow here is a little bit long, so I'm going to trim this up. I can even make a new bow if I want. Okay. So again, there's our one side. Here's our other side. But I can see that our little berries might need to come off when I put it up against the door. So again, you would just re-glue these, okay? So now we're going to put, and for this one, I'm going to use the Harvest. And I'm going to put this right here for Harvest. kind of taking up this. And again, our flower swag is going to cover up the top part. And then we are going to add our flowers inside. So that's all you have to do for this part. Okay. Again, make sure you're getting it on here enough so that it sticks. And you don't want to get it on your fabric. Okay, so get it where you want it, press down. Okay, so we have that up. And again, we can easily just take our Velcro, pull it off when we want. Look at it, because we need to look at it. And put him back. Okay, so easily removable. And I already have some pieces off. So we're going to do the same thing we did with the last one. And we're going to add our Velcro around this. Okay, so we have our little swag. So again, some of you, may not have to go and buy swags. You can just do what I'm doing with your flowers and make your own swag. Okay, so down to the very end of my Velcro here, I'll just use this piece. Because all you really need is a little square. Okay? We'll stick our flowers in there and we will be all done. Alright, so don't need that. I have a little piece of flower. I have a little piece of leaf. Again, I like these because they're bendable, so we can bend these any way we want once we get them up there. Again, we have our flower on this side. And where's our leaf at? Here it is. Here's our leaf. So we're putting it there. So we have our little swag. And we're taking our little piece of Velcro and we're Velcroing this all together. And we're making a tab so that we can add it, just like we did the other one. Okay, so for this one, it's a little bit thicker, or it feels a little bit thicker than our other one. I might have to add a little bit of hot glue to keep it. Oh, it went. So there we have our little swag. Okay, again, just add it to your wreath. Okay, so there's that part. And we're going to glue, again like we did with the other one, we're going to glue a few little pieces so that it covers everything up. So I think what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to take this off and I'm going to add some hot glue in here just because I don't want it to come apart. Some of this stuff I wind up giving away. I give a lot away to my son's girlfriend's family. Okay, and we're going to, I'm just going to take this little flower here and I'm going to glue it on here so it looks like this. Okay, and I want to put this on here so that it doesn't get in the way of what I'm doing. Here we go. Okay. And you can change these out, just pull your flowers off if you want. So there we have this side done. And now all we have to do is start adding what we want inside here. Again, you have your styrofoam in here. So you could push down as far as you can. But I don't want to take up the time to show you, like cut everything down. So we're just going to start adding our flowers in here. We have some acorns. Those are really cute. We have some fall flowers. I got a lot of fall stuff. Here's another fun one. So there you have it. So that is all you have to do. So let's see here. I got a tag on here that's got to come off. Doesn't look good. And again, you can just, because this is wire, you can remove it around. So there is your happy harvest. And here is the top part, which is not very put together because I just wanted to quickly put these in here. But the point of it is that you can change these flowers out every year or do what you want. So there is our happy harvest on this side. So again, these you can pull up, and if you wanted to, you can add a little bit more Velcro, like right here and right here, just so that when you pull your flowers off, or just use the wire that's inside of there. And there you have your double-sided splatter screen wreath made with blocks. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and you get to making your own. I know once a video is shown, the blocks are hard to find, the splatter screens are hard to find, but good luck to all of you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye now.